used to. It's not normal for the trucks and vehicles to make the noise. They are deliberately louder. You know, as they pull out, as they go past, everywhere you go. Buses the same. Never used to have these exceptionally, as though they're revving up when they're just going along. You know, when they're pulling in and out. The cars, of course, are the same too. Some of them very obvious. But not natural, not normal, and all deliberately designed to you know, disturb a person. It draws attention to them so that you have no peace of mind, can't walk anywhere and or go anywhere in any sort of peaceful frame of mind. And then when you come home into your own house, supposedly, surrounded by all this noise. Daily. In fact, you spend most of your time trying to figure out how to maneuver your life around avoiding things which you shouldn't have to do in the normal world. Traffic never bothered me in the past. I didn't even mind the busy roads. I walked along them freely and didn't find them particularly disturbing. Now they're like going through a noise barrage. You know? And then, of course, there's the sight as well, particularly of the night time. Although they leave the car lights on, as I've pointed out, in broad sunlight. That's just to let you know that they're watching you and that they're patrolling. Otherwise, you might be lulled into thinking everything was halfway normal. These are things that if you could show them to someone, I don't know what a normal person would probably say it was strange, but not the android artificial fake people that are everywhere, that are in a whole area. No. Because they're part of it. Whether they pretend they aren't or not doesn't matter. They are. You see it by their actions. There isn't a single real life hardly at all in my particular area or suburb, or the adjoining suburbs as far as I can tell. And it is what they call an inner west area now, so it's a collaborative, even suburb combination, which is openly been, established. And this is why too, because that way they have more control over an area, and they can bring their army patrol system in all round. They get rid of the real life, from various jobs and occupations and, the normal activities that used to be like, the one or two people that worked in the park for an hour or something and then went, as opposed to like a barrage of, as opposed to a barrage of these army operatives that now pretend to be gardeners and work people with their heavy machinery doing daily grass and stuff, which is unheard of, just so they can make their presence felt and make a racket as you go past. It wouldn't be plausible in a real reality. I've said this before, but that's everywhere you go. Digging up the same roads, the same pavement over and over again, daily. Week after week, month after month. It is not real at all. you know, you can put your name on these beings, or what their denominations or beliefs are, or where they fit into religious terminology, because they definitely do. I just choose not to. But it doesn't mean I don't believe that or don't know it to be a fact. It is. These android beings, or these types of humans, are the same beings that have been suppressing any real life, especially the more so-called enlightened ones, since the beginning. We've all heard of it in religious terms. They're the same people, except that they're not real life. They look like real life, they look the same, but they have no relationship to a human being. They don't relate to a human being. They actually completely loathe everything about them, because they see their traits as a threat to their negativity, which they want to live in and promote. They can't stand anyone that does anything really okay, even though you might just be doing it because you, it just comes natural, shall we say. They will bring you down and stop you from doing something positive, and then they will go and do that same thing, so they take the credit. So people think they're the real life, and the real human beings then are basically non-existent. You know, we don't exist in the eyes of other people, and that's the name of the game, and has been all along. And that depends on what era you're living in. You know, in a pretend era like now, this is very strong. In the past, they could get away with suppressing real life a lot more openly, maybe in different periods of time, to where they could literally get rid of the best of a human being openly. Openly. Openly in the past. Maybe 2,000 years ago. No, these sorts of things happened openly, and were accepted and regarded as a benefit, because, you know, any opposition to their belief system or their authority was regarded as a threat, even though there may have been no intent to oppose those authorities. In other words, you know, you could have had someone just preaching a little bit of good, should we say, as we know, and giving people that choice. You know, because you don't have to listen to someone, you can walk away. But that was a threat. And even though there's no legitimate grounds to dismiss that person or to get rid of them, if you're living in a different era, where kings or pharaohs or leaders of those sorts have ultimate power and can make decisions without too much questioning, like, you know, whereas in today's world things are more secretive. They're done underhanded or under the rug, under the radar, as they say, because we live in a different time, but it's still happening. It's just that it's happening now covertly. You know, because they can't say, oh, we just get rid of a real life human. We don't like their activities. We see that as a threat. But we'll suppress them by our covert controlling system around them, which they can't stop. Because they can't, you know, everything has to be done above board legal. You know, so we can now legally patrol and stalk and control people. We can legally inflict noise into their house. We can legally do disruptive things to them. We can legally, because our direct energy at the human body is invisible, we can, legally, that person has no grounds for saying that any injury caused to them was caused by an invisible ray, shall we say, or any sort of invisible, or what are physically invisible energies. You only know when you feel them and when you get a result from that. But proving that leaves you so-called legally with no grounds for any support or any validation at all. That's the way it is. If you get a physical ailment that pops up from the result of direct energy, you go to a doctor or the authorities, and basically they will come up with some rational medical explanation why that occurred. They may or may not be able to help you, but they certainly won't stop these things from happening. And most of them are part of this program against human beings anyway, because they elicit most people in an area, even in the beneficial industries, even like in the medical profession is only designed to deal with certain aspects of reality, and they, if their living depends on keeping the secret of the program, they probably don't have much choice. Of course, many of them actually are total dead dark spirits that actually enjoy getting the negative energy from human mental or physical distress. They do. In fact, their life depends on it. So you really are in a very precarious position when you realise this end-time situation. Because if you're dealing with android artificial beings pretending to be real life that actually need your negative emotions, so actually need for you to be in distress to survive, because they feed off that energy like a battery off a human being, because they have no energy of their own, have no life of their own. As you can imagine, that makes them survival machines of the most diabolically dangerous kind, and that's what is the situation. All the while smiling and pretending to be real life.